even if Satoshi came back, which I agree. I think it's highly improbable. Like even if he did, couldn't change anything.
No, and there was an article from Pete Rizzo that looked into when Satoshi left the project. And Satoshi never explicitly stated why he left the project, but based on the tone of the Bitcoin Talk forums when he left the project and kind of some of his last interactions, one could make the argument that Satoshi left the project because Bitcoiners started being toxic towards him. That they they were they were not like they were pushing back on things he was saying, and like they were not treating him like some kind of benevolent dictator or some god, that that yeah that the toxicity driving away developers arguably starts with Satoshi Nakamoto himself. And that's why I think that even if he came back and he was like, hey, we're going to do 22 million Bitcoin, the Bitcoiners would tell him to F off, right? There's no doubt in my mind that they would, be like, hey, slay your heroes, screw this guy, what a clown, and, tell him to have fun staying poor and that they're going to sell the fork coin, right? So th- that's why I love Bitcoin toxicity, by the way. I mean, even if Satoshi came back, that he would have zero power over the network and over the plebs.
Yeah, 100%. And a meme came to mind when you were saying that. You know, the Tom Hanks and the guy like, "I'm the captain now."
Yeah.
The Bitcoiner is just like, "I'm the captain now." That's so funny. Okay, so Pierre, do you think that it was necessary for? I believe it was necessary for. I believe that it was a net positive. It was a good that Satoshi stepped down, that Satoshi left, right? It's very similar to the founding of the United States, by the way. Like one of the most important things in American history was the fact that after two terms, George Washington stepped down, and that set a precedent for all really FDR kind of broke the rules, but then they finally codified it, right? Like two terms, that's it, right? So I believe that it was a good thing, right? That you took the human being, the I'm glad the anonymity of Satoshi is what it is because I think it embodies the importance of it not being about an individual or putting an individual on a pedestal, but about being a movement, about being this thing. And I don't think any other cryptocurrency, shitcoin, they haven't even come close to that. There's always a figure, there's always a person behind the project. And I think makes Bitcoin very unique in that sense. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about Satoshi leaving?
Yeah. I mean, in many regards, it's almost miraculous. um, you know, I don't know of any other examples of somebody staying pseudonymous on the internet and not getting doxxed. Um, Many have tried, right? But ultimately, there's kind of a paper trail somewhere, and um, to this day, Satoshi's identity remains a mystery. So, um, I think it's excellent that he left Bitcoin. Um, the but I think he could have stayed. I don't think that again. The toxicity is layer zero, and it would have certainly prevented Satoshi from doing anything that would harm Bitcoin, even if he had stayed and kind of had influence and clout. Um, the it speaks to his humility, and I also think that anybody who comes along and gets interested in Bitcoin and then decides they can do something better than Bitcoin, they've got an ego, they've got pride, and they're not going to humble themselves into writing a BIP and doing a soft fork and uh, you know it's staying in Bitcoin. They are going to create something new, because of honestly, whether it's avarice of, hey, look, I don't want to make somebody else rich by improving Bitcoin. I want to get rich, and so I'm going to have a pre-mine and a pre-allocation and all of this. Um, or it's kind of hubris of, oh, Bitcoin's poorly engineered, I can't fix it, nobody can fix it, and we've got to start from scratch. Whatever it is, that it's actually great that those people have an outlet. It would be terrible if those people somehow felt like they couldn't get out of Bitcoin. So to me, the multiplicity of founder-driven altcoins is a pressure release valve at the social layer, so that Bitcoin can continue to be pure and highly toxic, while other coins can flatter the egos of their founders.